Come closer for a moment. Let this story enter your heart. Imagine an ancient land. Mist blankets the rolling green hills, and the scent of damp earth mingles with the distant smoke of hearth fires. In these ancient days, the people lived closely with the rhythms of nature. They depended on the earth's bounty, the strength of their hands, and the favor of the divine. It was in this land, on the threshold of dawn, that Brigid was born. Her birth was no ordinary one. As the story goes, the moment she entered the world, a column of flame burst from the crown of her head, stretching all the way up into the heavens. It was a sign, an omen, that this child was touched by the divine, destined to walk between worlds. With her arrival, the land itself awakened. The cattle gave more milk, rivers ran clearer, and the winds carried her name across the hills. Brigid was a bridge between the seen and the unseen, between the hearth and the forge, between healing and creation. Brigid grew with a deep connection to the flame, the forge, where blacksmiths toiled day and night, transforming raw metal into tools and weapons, and the forge became one of her sacred places. She watched intently, understanding that transformation requires heat, pressure, and patience. And in the forge, she saw not just fire, but the power to shape destiny, to turn the ordinary into something extraordinary. She was not just the guardian of the hearth, but of the forge. And she was teaching everyone that creation is born of perseverance. But Brigid's flame was not just for creation, it was also for healing. Stories tell of how she walked among the people, her touch soothing wounds, her presence easing burdens. She would bless the sacred wells, and those who drank from them would find relief from their ailments. And to this day, these wells remain hidden in groves and meadows where people leave offerings of coins and ribbons, and they seek her blessing. But perhaps Brigid's greatest gift was her voice, the voice of a poet, a bard, a weaver of words. Her words carried the power to inspire, to stir hearts and minds, and to call forth visions of beauty and justice. She was the muse of poets and storytellers. Her inspiration, like golden threads, weaving through songs and tales of the Celtic lands. She reminds people, even now, that words have the power to heal, to ignite revolutions, and to offer hope. Yet Brigid's warmth is not without her fire. She is a fierce protector, a champion of justice, standing beside those who are in need. One story tells of a man, a leper, who came to her seeking food and shelter. There was a wealthy chieftain in the village who refused to help, and Brigid, unwavering and compassionate, looked deep into the chieftain's soul. Her presence melted his greed, and he gave to the man in need freely. She teaches us that compassion is strength and justice, a flame that must be tended, even as the old ways faded and Christianity's colonizing forces were imposed across Ireland. Brigid could not be forgotten. Instead, she transformed, she infiltrated, she became Saint Brigid, with many of her characteristics carried into the church. Her connection to fire, to healing, to poetry remained intact, and to this day, her eternal flame burns in Kildare, tended by the devoted hands of nuns, priestesses, reminding us that her presence, whether a goddess or a saint, endures. And so Brigid remains with us in the hearth, in the forge, in the well, in the words that we speak, and the dreams we dare to bring into the world. Brigid is a goddess of immense power and depth. She's a figure whose presence is woven into the fabric of life itself. She is the sacred flame that warms the hearth, the forge that shapes raw potential into something extraordinary, and the healing waters that soothe the soul. She moves between these realms with grace, embodying the balance of creation, transformation, and renewal. Her connection to fire is profound, but it's not just about the physical flames of warmth and survival. Brigid's fire is the fire of inspiration, the creative spark that ignites within us when we dare to dream, when we dare to write, to think, to build. She is a force that drives poets to pour their souls onto the page or the stage, that compels artists, any artists, to shape their visions into reality. Her fire is also the fire of the forge, the space where the transformation takes place, where the effort and the perseverance lead to something new, growth. And Brigid reminds us that creation isn't always effortless. It takes dedication, courage, willingness to face the heat of transformation. She's not only a goddess of fire, she's also of the fire of the forge. She's a powerful healer. Her fire also heals. So in ancient stories, she tends to the sick and the weary. She offers physical and emotional healing. Her sacred wells that are still honored today are places of reflection and renewal. They are reminders that healing is about the soul as it is about the body. She teaches us that true healing requires tenderness, patience, understanding, and that renewal comes from deep within. In modern paganism, her energy is called upon in times of self-care, emotional release, personal transformation, and she offers guidance for those who seek to heal their wounds and step fully into their own power. So Brigid's presence is also deeply intertwined with the power of words. She is the muse that whispers in the ears of poets and storytellers, encouraging us, to weave magic through language. And in Celtic tradition, poets were revered not just as artists, but as keepers of history, of wisdom, of truth. And Brigid reminds us that our voices, even if we're not artists, but that voices hold power, and that the stories we tell, the affirmations we make, and the truths we share can shape the reality of the world around us. She encourages us to speak with intention, to honor the sacredness of our own voices, to be careful with what we say, and to recognize the magic in our words. And beyond creativity and healing, she's also a fierce protector. She is a guardian to those who need her. She stands in the face of injustice, and she offers refuge to those who are vulnerable. She teaches us that compassion and strength go hand in hand, and then kindness is not a weakness, but a force of immense power. And all of her stories reminds us to be courageous, to have our convictions, to stand up for what is right, and to protect the things that we hold dear. And especially for women, Brigid represents a force of empowerment. She embodies the many roles that women carry as creators, as healers, as protectors, as nurturers, and as leaders. She reminds us that we are multifaceted beings. She is a triple goddess. So we are capable of holding strength and softness in equal measure. And in a world that often demands that women choose between one or the other, Brigid really stands as this beacon of balance and self-acceptance. She invites us to embrace our wholeness, to trust our intuition, and honor the divine feminine that resides within us. In modern paganism and witchcraft, Brigid holds a place of deep reverence. Her presence is called upon a lot during Imbolc, which is a festival of the wheel of the year that marks the first stirrings of spring, the time of new beginnings, the time of renewal. But her influence, it's far more, it's beyond the seasonal celebration. She's a constant source of inspiration, of strength, of guidance for those who walk the path of the goddess. So whether it's through lighting candles in her honor, or working with sacred waters, or calling upon her energy for creative inspiration, Brigid remains a powerful ally for those who seek her presence. She is in the warmth of the hearth that gathers loved ones together, the family together. She is in the determined strike of the hammer that forges something new, and she will put you on that forge. Mark my words. And she's also in the gentle ripple of the water that carries our prayers and hopes into the world. She's a flame that never dies. She's the healer who never turns you away, and a poet that continues to inspire. So honoring Brigid in our daily lives doesn't have to be elaborate. It can be as simple as lighting a candle, writing down your dreams and aspirations, or taking a moment to reflect near a body of water. She teaches us that the sacred is found in the everyday moments, the warmth of the home, in the power of our words, the resilience of being human. Brigid's presence is always near, waiting to be called upon, ready to guide us as we step into our power, as we heal our wounds and create a life that reflects our trust in ourselves, right? Always remember to be respectful when you are asking for the guidance of any goddess, of any being that is higher. Always be respectful. Always make your offerings and your prayers, and always be true to whatever it is that you put into the world of the sacred. Blessed be, and may Brigid's light continue to shine within you.